Pro Tour Ixalan is almost upon us, and shortly the eyes of the world will converge on Albuquerque like they've announced a 6th season of Breaking Bad. Standard has been pretty well established since rotation, dominated by the 3 pillars of the format: Energy, Ramunap Red, and Azcanta Control. But the glory and the prestige that comes with winning the event, not to mention the barrel of cash ready to be buried out in the New Mexico desert, mean that pros around the world are brewing away in their labs, seeking out a way to break the format wide open. Today, we're going to highlight some of the cards that are expected to feature heavily at Pro Tour Ixalan. We haven't seen Beetles be so dominant since 1963. The Scarab god has been here, there, and everywhere since Hour of Devastation. Why is this card so dominant? Well, we can work it out. It asks very little of a deck builder and will win the game single-handedly so long as there are some creatures in graveyards to get back. This won't change going into Pro Tour Ixalan, as a day in the life of any blue-black deck definitely includes the god as a finisher. Take it from me to you, however, there's no consensus on how the best Scarab god deck will come together. Yesterday, Teamer decks splashed for the god, whereas today you'll find it in both blue-black Azcanta, Sultai Energy, and Esper tokens. Recent innovations have seen blue-black decks take a more mid-range angle. However, tomorrow never knows, and the raw power level of this card means that we could see it appear in any imaginable new archetype this weekend. As the marquee mythic of Ixalan, Vraska hasn't been seeking relics so much as she's been seeking a deck to call home. She comes down to impact the board immediately, attacking, protecting, and more or less winning the game with an insanely powerful ultimate. Why, then, has she not had the impact you'd expect of such a mighty card? The answer to this is pretty simple. There simply hasn't been a good green-black deck. Winding Constrictor is absent without leave, and no one has had a sniff of a rock-style deck for a long time. When it comes to the one deck she regularly features in, Abzan tokens, she's only really included on the splash. Will that change this weekend? Well, with black having access to the best removal and green having access to the best creatures, perhaps the recipe for this particular bowl of spaghetti is waiting to be uncovered by a new chef. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see a green-black mid-range deck emerge from the weekend, and if it does, Vraska is a slam dunk inclusion. Azcanta Control made a huge impact at Boston's World Championships a few weeks ago, and despite not taking out the trophy, it firmly entrenched search for Azcanta as a major player in the standard format. The enchantment likes to split the Oreo right down the middle into its constituent parts and plays equally well with either black or white, but either configuration runs the risk of being dunked into the rancid milk that is Carnage Tyrant. If Azcanta Control decks are out in force at Pro Tour Ixalan, one of the best answers to them is Carnage Tyrant. Outside of cards like Fumigate or maybe double blocks from Scarab God tokens, this terrible lizard will wreak more havoc than the T-Rex in Cascade Kingdom. And it's not limited to hosing control. This colossal stomper is immune to point removal and tramples through chump blockers like it was flying an F-14. As a sideboard card against the sort of field you might expect at the upcoming Pro Tour, Carnage Tyrant is ready to take care of business. The God Pharaoh's stint as a Mall Santa must have come to an end in September, because he hasn't been handing out anywhere near as many gifts as before. What happened, jolly old Saint Nicholas? Already emptied your sack, have you, mate? Is Christmas cancelled on Ixalan? Despite the loss of cards like Insolent Neonate as enablers, Gate to the Afterlife can still cheat out the old GPG. This brings back an Angel of Invention real quick to slap you around some. It's worse than coal in your stocking. Minister of Inquiries and Champion of Wits are still around to fuel the graveyard, and cards like Kitesail Freebooter even offer creature-based interaction. All these little elves, figurative, not literal elves, mean that we could see Christmas come early if they mean that the God Pharaoh can whack his floppy hat back on and start handing out gifts again. The payoff is insanely high, and the strategy has already proven itself as highly potent. Seeing as grinchy cards like Scavenger Grounds and Sentinel Totem are at an all-time low, Pro Tour Ixalan might just be the time to roast some chestnuts over an open fire. But that's it. That's all she wrote today, sports fans. Those are the cards to keep an eye on at Pro Tour Ixalan. Those are the cards that should be on your radar, as they may make a huge impact on the tournament as it unfolds. But I'm sure I've missed some. What are the cards that you'll be looking at as we watch coverage from Albuquerque this weekend? Let me know on Twitter at Relic Tower, or you can hit me up in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again soon.